So, Jai Hind everyone. So, today in the lecture series of software project management, we're going to start regarding the topic that is the contract management. So, contract management, as the name declares the contract, whenever the contract terms comes, it means that we are talking regarding the business. Whenever we are having a certain business, a small business or a big business, dealing all the business dealings or whatever the manual process has been happening, that can be converted into a digital part. So that is your contract management. That's a single definition. So before reading about or understanding about more about the contract management, we are having a small definitions about what is a proposal. A proposal, when accepted, becomes a promise, isn't it? And a promise or a set of promise with consideration is an agreement. Fine. And an agreement enforceable by law is a contract. And a contract which ceases to be enforceable by a law is a void contract. So definitely, when we are starting about a business, I'm a business owner. I want to have a certain I want to elaborate my business, or I'm starting my startup. Definitely. So for the startup part, I'm dealing with a number of people who are working with me, and I'm having the collaboration with certain more companies also. So for that part, if I'm dealing with some other persons, I need certain promises with having the interaction with both the people. So a proposal, when accepted, become a promise. I had given a proposal, and or some people had given a proposal to me, and we had a promise of certain tasks and conditions that we will fulfill all these parts, isn't it? And definitely, it's a promise is a verbal promise. We cannot say that the promise you had given, it will be full and final. Maybe the people get revert back that they have not given any certain promises. So for that, we should have a proper documentation of a that is called your agreement. Of course, in agreement, each and everything will be get mentioned, that what rules and regulations you have said, what tasks you have said, and whatever the things for the business dealings you are doing, it should be have certain details in an agreement. And after the agreement, yes, there are certain laws provided by the government that should be followed. If that laws will get added to the agreement, it will form an contract. Fine. So, as you know, that is, there is a two people, a promiser and a promisee, and they both should have consideration of the reciprocal promises also, and whatever the consideration they are talking, the mutual understanding should be there. So both the happening should be there properly. That is the reciprocal promises and your consideration. So what is contract management? Simple definition, as I told you, whenever we are starting a business, of course, for the business part, we have to have a proper manual documentation, that is a contract. But as your company is dealing with the multiple people, you are dealing with the multiple companies, it's not possible to manage all these tasks, all these agreement points and everything to be managed by a single person as you are the owner. You're not able to, of course, manage all those things. So you should have a proper management for that. See, for any work you are doing, there is a proper management. If you will not do the proper management, definitely that the task, the outcome you want, you will not get achieved. If it is done in a proper way, in a systematic way, definitely, in a proper manageable way, definitely your outcomes will get more exceeded. So same in terms of your contract management. That means a contract should have each and every communication point should be mentioned in the contract. Whatever the discussions you are having, whatever your outcomes you are having, whatever the fulfillment you want to have from that company, whatever the expiry date you can say, the starting date, the renewal dates, whatever the profits you are getting, each and every point of a discussion should be mentioned in a contract. And of course, the contract is a legal agreement. It is having a certain laws on the behalf of that. So we cannot, any of the people cannot deny that they have not declared the fault statements. So fine. So talking about the definition, it says that the contract management is the process of managing contract creation, first of all, of course, then the execution, and then the analysis to maximize operational and financial performance at an organization, all while reducing the financial risk, of course. I already told you before that the management, of course, increase the profit of a company. The management of any kind of a work. This is the contract management, but I'm talking about any kind of a work. If it is managed properly, in a systematic way, definitely the outcome will be get increased. The outcome will get raised. So same in the contract management. If the creation is done very much properly, if the execution of that agreement is done properly, and if the analysis has been done, it doesn't mean you have prepared the contract, you have done the execution, it's completed. No. Of course, after the execution, after the fulfillment, then of course the maintenance part starts. Then of course you can have the upgradation for that, and then of course the analysis that you are getting the profit or a loss or what improvements you can done. That also will move on in the contract management. Fine, getting my point. It is not we can say it's a learning phase. At every time you are having the learning of each and every point, and you are having the upgradation of your contract day by day, or the duration you have declared, that a monthly or an yearly, depending on your contract, whatever the agreement you have dealt. Fine. So further it is saying that the contract management is a continuous process. As I told you, it's a continuous process. It's a learning process, starting with the analysis and evaluation of the customer's inquiry and carrying on until contract closure upon fulfillment of all the contractual obligations. Definitely whatever agreement you have dealt, may be possible the agreement you have done, both the companies or the people from your dealing, is that may be possible it is not giving the fruitful results. So it may be possible that you have to revise that contract, isn't it? If you do the revisions, you will get certain outcomes. Whatever modifications you want to do, you can add on those modifications. If you want to increase the duration for that or reduce the duration for that, add-ons can be done, and definitely further again the execution process will be done and the analysis will be done, that after doing the changes in your contract you are getting profit or not. The contract management can often be regarded as a pure formality between the two parties entering a contractual relationship. So I already told about the same, that it's having a certain laws, and a law is forced on that, then it will become a proper contract. So definitely the two parties are having in contract, so it's a proper channelization, that they will not deny that they have not done that they have not declared these promises to you, because it's an agreement, it's a written document, it's a valid document. They cannot say the false statements like that. However, the contract management process are essentially in determining the sustainability of any business arrangement, isn't it? So as a contract manager, you are responsible for drafting the contract and any other related document. If I am having a company, may be possible I have I'm having one person with me who will having all the responsibilities of a manager, of a contract manager, or maybe possible I can hire certain other person from different company who is having only the responsibility of these dealing with all the contracts. He knows all the laws and rules and everything. So the whole responsibility of that person is that he has to initially prepare that contract. He have to study all the downfalls or the increments of that different companies from whom I am dealing, whatever the advantages and disadvantages I'll get from that company. Each and every survey study he has to do, and then he will come up with that contract, that what it will give benefits to me, what points will benefits to me in that contract by which I can have certain profits on my business. So this is just one of your many responsibilities. So the first responsibility is declared, that you have to prepare a contract, the contract manager of course. Over time, you should develop a checklist of steps so that your contract management processes are not only documented but also clearly outlined. It's not mentioned that you have to prepare a checklist of whatever points you want to add on. Of course, after add-ons, after that checklist, you have to properly document it. The way of writing, the way of presentation, the way of declaring your points, it should be very much effective way that the other people should not deny. If you can say, now you are basically trying to influence other people by which he or she cannot say no. Whatever the points you are having, whatever the points you want to update or you want to have implemented in your contract, isn't it? So it should be, of course, the presentation matters. If you are not presenting your document properly, definitely the next person will not able to give you the proper responses for that. So definitely you are preparing a checklist, then it should be properly clearly outlined for that. So this process overview indicates that contract management activities seems to belong to the responsibilities of the project manager and the whole project team. Definitely it is not about a single person. If you're dealing with a book of a big business or a huge business, you can say it is not only that a single person can deal with. Definitely a documentation is very more. You're dealing with multiple companies. If I talk about the Amazon, the Flipkart, and multiple companies are there, they're dealing with different companies for their products. So it's not possible a single person we are handling, that you have to handle all the contracts, you have to handle all these documentation for that same. No, it's not possible. So definitely a contract management can also having a certain team, and the team can also having a certain the roles and responsibilities defined to them. So in fact they do. However, in larger projects where we have larger contract, it is the best practice to involve the full-time contract manager who brings in his professional experience, takes responsibilities for that processes, and ensure the contribution of all the rest of the members. So definitely if you are feeling like that you are need in every time you need a contract manager, every time you are dealing with different companies, every month you are updating your company and all those things, so you may not have the contract from the outsourced companies. It may possible you can hire a person in your company itself. You can you can basically of course hiring has been done and you have declared all the results and whatever the part of him you have declared and all things. Basically he will work as a full-time employee for the contract management. So of course I told you that the contract management, definitely we should follow a proper managerial way. A proper steps should be followed for that part, isn't it? So definitely for that part, you should know the step-by-step process that how the contract has been working. So the contract management is not solely about creating agreements and getting them approved. It includes a series of stages that follow the process through a successful conclusion. So there are certain stages, there are certain steps which should be followed for completing your contract. So any missed step can cause delays and mistakes down to the line. Definitely if you are having any delay or any mistakes in your contract, definitely it may possible that you have lose a lot or you're having a lots of failure in your business. So it should be followed proper step by step. So we will see what are the steps for the contract management. So the first step is the creation step. That was the first responsibility of the contract manager, isn't it? The first document to be prepared by the contract manager is the creation of a contract, the creation of a document. And documentation is a very baseline, very important part for the for developing a business, for getting profitable to the business. So it says that the contract management system must have the ability to incorporate standardized procedures with details specific to the goals of your organization. So definitely whichever company you are dealing, whichever organization you are dealing, you should know the detailing of that company. You should have the understanding of that company. You should have the clear upgradation of that company. So the first step includes identifying the type of contract and who will responsible for each task. Definitely if you are having a team for the contract management, then definitely you should declare and define the roles and responsibilities to each and every person of the contract manager team, that who will be having you can say the graphical representation or whatever the profits you will get. If you are having a certain documentation for that, some people you are defining that how much points you are getting for the profitable part. For this point, if you are getting adding, then what profit you can get. All these roles and responsibilities can be divided to the certain people for that part. So further saying that the planning process should consider company's resources, objectives and team member strengths and weakness while developing an overview of potential challenges and risks. Definitely, if you are an employee of a company, your owner wants that to have a contract with some other company, definitely you should be thoroughly clearly know about your company, what benefits the company can get if you will deal with which company. The objective should be clear, of course, the aim should be clear, of course, whatever challenges you can receive, that should be cleared enough for that. What are the outcomes you will get if you will deal with that company or some other company? You can have the comparison chart for that whatever dealings of the companies we are having, which company will get more benefit, isn't it? So it's mentioned strengths and weakness, advantages and disadvantages also. So each and every clarity, if you're dealing with any of the company, should have the clarity of all those things. A single point should not be missed if you want to have the proper documentation, proper movement of a contract. Then you should have that clearly, because everyone, you know very well that the base, if your base is not strong, then definitely your rest of the race will not move on good, isn't it? So the base should be neat and clean. Your base should be clear enough. You should have the detailing of your project. You should have the clear what should I say, the clear outlines of all the company, about all the projects you are dealing, or the clarity of whatever the challenges you are receiving, whatever the strengths and weakness it is having. Each and every point you should know very well, and that summarization, that checklist should be added into your contract. Second is your negotiation. Now the first step you have done the creation. It's okay, fine. You have created a contract documentation. Now you are dealing with the company, you are dealing with certain peoples for that. So the next is your negotiation. Negotiation means the communication we are having, or the interaction between the two people or the company we are handling, isn't it? So it says that the contract should be written in a manner that reflects the organizational needs and values, helping to establish trust between the two parties. Of course, I am a single party, another party sitting in front of me. I had prepared the contract. Now I am declaring that contract in front of that people, the people sitting of a different company. Now they will, maybe possible they are not satisfied with that contract. some points to be modified, isn't it? Or may be possible they want to add some more points. For example, if any of the application they are providing us, and I'm saying that you have to give the 2 years maintenance for that app, but he may say or she may say that no, I'll give only the 1 year maintenance. For that part, I will provide you certain more features in your app, isn't it? So maybe possible, it should be flexible enough. It should not be like, okay, the contract is prepared, now it's full and final. It should not be like that. The negotiation should be there in your contract. So the communication, the interaction between the people has been there, isn't it? And the communication should be such like that you can have the updations, the modifications in your contract. So once the initial contract has been designed, the negotiation is the obvious next step. Line items can be discussed, changed or removed as a part of the negotiation process. So I already declared that the contract has been prepared. Then after the negotiation should be happened, everything, whatever the strengths, the weakness, the advantages and the disadvantages, the outlines of your project, the duration of your project, the deadlines of your project, that at what time it will get completed, when we will going to start, what profits they will be getting, what profits we are getting, or what are the maintenance part for the how much we will having interaction on those things. Maybe you have to mention the locations of the projects. Each and every point is to be mentioned, and each and every point should be have declared. It should not be a time bound, of course. Whenever you are having the negotiation part, it should not be a time bound. It may be possible you have had a meeting of a complete whole day. A thorough study of the contract at initial stage is very, very, very much important, because it's a agreement, it's a law agreement, isn't it? You are having a certain laws. If further he will say no, I had not said, no, it's not possible, because it's a legal document. Okay. Next is your approval. That is, of course, now the creation has been done, the negotiation has been done. Both the parties are very well happy, and they are saying that okay, fine, that the points you have mentioned is okay. Now it's clear. We will follow all these points in your project. Fine. So next is your approval. Of course, for the approval part, we have to take the approval of the companies of rest of the people. So for example, if I talk about the students teaching in the college, and I want the approval that in my class 98% strength is of the attendance. Fine. So for the approval, the first initial signatures will be in mine, because I am maintaining the attendance of my class. So 98% attendance, I'll write all the roll numbers and names, and as an average I'll calculate, and definitely I'll do the signatures. Then the next signature will be for the attendance committee of my department. They will do the signatures, they will check that it's correct or not, they will do the signatures. Then may be possible the class counselor is present of the class, he has to do the verification. Then it may be possible some other EA coordinator is present of your class, and then maybe possible the HOD is there, then the director is there. Definitely it is, and having the following hierarchy. And for every documentation, we are having to follow the channels to have the signatories of the document. So definitely approval that the declaration done by me is fine or not, it should have a certain hierarchy. Similarly, for the contract management also, we are having the approval points. It's not only the one person who are having a meeting, he had signed and it's fine approval. No, the owner of the company, they will be getting signed, some maybe the director, he will be having the signed, and many more people in the company who has the authority to understand the contract, they will be going to sign. Then finalization process will be happening. Of course, without the signatures, the second company cannot declare that you are finally now the part of our company. The contract will be not fulfilled till the signatures has been done on the contract. The next is the finalization. So the finalization says that the approval has been done, the signature has been done, but definitely what happens is that in my company, we are having certain people. I had taken all the signatures from my company. I'm talking about the organization. In the organization, I am having certain people. I had taken the signatures on my document. Now, this document is to be handed over to some other company, and it may be possible that company lies not in Delhi. It may be in the Gujarat or in the Ahmedabad or in Bangalore, isn't it? So the document should be sent over there, it should be signed over there properly, it should be understandable by those people. Then after that, it will get the process completely. That means for the finalization, of course, definitely sometimes what happens is that if the company you are dealing with that are locating on a different cities. So the process which is to be done in one day may be possible, it may take 1 month, because the cities, the location are different. The document will be posted, they will get studying on that, they will get the signatures, and definitely all the higher authorities are sometimes, it's not possible to manage all the higher authorities at a single time. So the duration may be get raised. So it says that the contract signing process between enterprises in the final step before getting the project underway, obtaining signatures from numerous parties and entities quickly, even when distance is a factor, is a crucial to avoid the postponements to the process. So definitely, if you are residing in different locations, you are dealing with different companies, it may be possible that the delay can be happen, because different locations, different cities, different people are having, and they will understand, they will do the signatures, then they will repost that document, and definitely it will may took time and the process may get the postponed. And the last step states that the management. So management is, of course, everything has been done. You have prepared the contract, you have done the negotiation, you have done the finalization, the signatures has been done. Then definitely for any project, then you have to do the maintenance of that project. That means the maintenance is, the contract has been working, it's been executing, but may be possible that with certain reasons, some due to lack, some due to points, the profit is not getting earned, it is getting lost. So we have to again revise that document, we have to again revise that contract, and we have to do certain upgradation by which more profit can be gained. So it's mentioned here, once the project begins, change can still occur. It's not said that you have prepared the contract, you have done the agreement, now it's full and final, we cannot do anything. No, it should not be like that. The contract is flexible enough. We can update as per our requirement. But yes, the responses from both the parties, it should not be a single party handed over. Both the parties should have the proper communication between both of them. So revisions need to be carefully managed and communicated to the appropriate parties, of course, isn't it? As I told you that the two parties should have both the proper communication. It should not be a single party dealing. Deadlines, audits, revenues and expenditures need to be tracked, completed and shared with the rest of the team, isn't it? That means whatever the deadlines you have assigned, what is the start time, the end time, it should be followed. The audit should be done. Audit means, of course, the movements and the responses, the upgradation which is happening, what are the changes is happening after applying the contract, that is an audit. Revenue, how much profit we are getting, the expenditure, how much expenses we are doing, all these reviews should be done, by which the management should go proper in way. And if it is required, it should be getting be updated, for which the benefits of the companies can be getted. So at the end, it says that a standardized program that is customizable to an organization specific needs helps to a contract run smoothly. When these 5 areas are carefully managed, the odds of successful relationships and a close deals go up exponentially. So if you will follow all these steps properly, the 5 steps you will follow properly, the management done properly, then definitely the contract will get successful and the company will raise higher and higher. So thank you so much. In the next presentation, we will talk about the contract management rules and regulations. Thank you.